Hello everyone. I know we all love San Diego. San Diego is our home, and when something bad happens to San Diego, it will hurt every single one of us. As you all know, we had Lyons Valley fire not too long ago, which destroyed hundreds and if not thousands of acres of land. Today I went to visit the aftermath of this deadly fire, and I was really happy to see that life has re-flourished in this desert and valley. I noticed birds and rats and rabbits and all kinds of plants that are re-emerging from the ground. And I wanted to take a footage and bring it to you so you could have hope. There is hope after such a deadly fire. Maybe this will at least bring some happiness in our complex, stressful lives. So I hope you're gonna enjoy watching it. This is Lyons Valley, San Diego, California. A beautiful valley that used to be flourished with green bushes, trees, cactus, and wildlife. Today, we are looking at the aftermath of a deadly fire that initiated here a few months ago, in the end of 2020. These bushes were all green, and they all had enough vegetation to support the wildlife around them. These bushes were the lifeline for deers, rabbits, and other California wildlife. By looking at these images, it breaks my heart to see what a devastating fire destroyed hundreds, if not thousands, of acres in our beautiful San Diego. This wasn't too far from the capital, or I should say the downtown San Diego. We are talking just 20 or 30 miles from downtown. So the deadly smoke was visible all the way to the coastal regions of San Diego. As you drive by this place, you will see miles and miles of burned trees, bushes, and the land is full of ashes and carbon. Although this is really sad, there is hope. There is still hope, because as the fires destroyed what was there, new life is emerging. As you can see at the bottom of every bush, there are green vegetations and bushes that are re-emerging and are going to be flourishing this beautiful landscape. This was extremely dangerous. As you can see, the power lines that were going across this area, they could have caught fire. Luckily, the power lines didn't catch fire because of the brave men and women in uniform in our fire department who came to the rescue. I was there when I noticed the helicopters that were going to Barrett Lake Reservoir. That's the Barrett Lake Reservoir right there in the distance, and they were refilling their tanks and dropping water. Now look at the hawks. These hawks are now actually reviving. Their population have actually increased after the fire, because the fire has smoked out the rodents on which these hawks prey. So in a sheer 5-10 minute, or I should say 30-minute visit that I had in that area, I noticed multiple hawks sitting on higher grounds, on the poles, top of the trees, on the rocks, in other places, and scanning the landscape below, which was burnt, to see if they can capture the rats, rodents, squirrels, and other mammals of prey, including lizards, rattlesnakes, and so on. So even though fire brought destruction to the landscape, and obviously people suffered whose homes were burned down, however, there is hope. There is hope that life will return in this place, vegetation will return in this place, and as a matter of fact, these brown hawks or red-tailed hawks that I noticed in that place are actually increasing in population because of this fire. So nature has it all figured out. When something bad happens, there is always a positive way to look at it and not to be too depressed because of that negative thing. San Diego is in a high fire region because of its dry air and dry weather. The possibilities of additional fires are real, so we have to be extremely careful where we dispose of our cigarette butts or other charcoal if we do barbecue and other fire hazard stuff. As you can see, the hawk flew away. But this is the landscape where that hawk was actually hunting. Now if you notice all this green bushes that are re-emerging from the ground, these will be the actual vegetation of the future in this valley. This valley is vast. It's long, deep, and wide. And it has extremely high peaks that some of which reaches over 1,000 feet in elevation. The fire reached every corner of these valleys. Nearly every single corner was affected by this fire. As you can see, as far as the eyes can see, there is damage and destruction. But if you look again, you will see bushes, greenery, branches, and even some burned trees are developing new and fresh green leaves. Valleys are usually water channels, meaning in a valley, the center of a valley is where the water channel is, and when it rains, that's where the water will drain out of. That's why vegetation is more dense in the center of a valley, as you can see here. You see more vegetation or burned trees in the center of this valley than you see everywhere else. Look at these bushes. Look how the green branches are re-emerging and bringing stories of hope and prosperity in this barren desert. And if you look far enough, you will even see the flourishment of life and wildlife in these valleys. As you can see, there is a bird, and obviously the weather right now is too cold. This is the month of January 10th to be exact, so you're not going to see rattlesnakes, lizards, or other cold-blooded reptiles. Even in the peaks and highest elevations, if you look under every burned tree, you see some green vegetation, which indicates that they will flourish. Every single burned down bush has green vegetation at the bottom of it, as you can see in the images. So be hopeful and be happy that life will return in our beautiful San Diego. Look at that. Now, I heard that some of the seeds of certain trees or bushes or plants require fire for the seed to flourish and to open. The seed is tight, closed, and only fire can crack it open so it can rejuvenate and, become a bush or a tree. As you can see from a higher elevation, as I'm shooting this video, that the valley is extremely vast and wide. The street that you see on the right is Lyons Valley Road. These are the bushes that shows the vegetation at the bottom. And those are the highest elevation where the fire destroyed some of the bushes. And those are the power lines, electrical power lines, which could have caught fire and could have led to major blackouts. But thanks to our brave men and women who fought the fire and did not let that happen. Now again, the lake that you see in the distance is Barrett Lake Reservoir. It's restricted area. You cannot go there for fishing or just to check it out, because it's, a reservoir is a drinking water. So for security reasons, it's restricted. However, you could enjoy the view of it from a distance as I'm, shooting this video. Now this road, Lyons Valley Road, from this angle is headed to Freeway 8, and the remote green area that you see is Alpine. And as you can see, the very, very high elevations that are full of rocks are still damaged or burned down with fire. Again, what you see at the bottom is the Lyons Valley Road. And that is the beautiful sunset in the corner, as you can see. San Diego's beautiful sunset, as always. This reservoir is pretty big. It's a very good sized reservoir, and it's providing fresh drinking water for all the residents around this area. As I was flying the drone, I was trying to locate wildlife such as deer and other types of wildlife that are roaming around this area. And I was successful in locating a couple of deers. Now you're looking at the west side of the Lyons Valley. Now as I'm turning the camera this way, you're looking at the north side of Lyons Valley, including Julian and Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. There are multiple trails here that you can come and enjoy. As you can see, there's a dirt road right there, which is a very nice trail. You can even bring your horses and do horseback riding in this area. Now we are looking at the east side of this valley, which is basically where the Acorn Casino is situated. Now this is the south side, where basically is where Tecate and other cities, border cities, such as Railway Museum and what have you, is situated. Even though it's currently the winter season and it's pretty cold, however, the weather is extremely dry and the fire danger is still real. So don't let the cold weather fool you by not practicing caution. As you can see here, these bushes are also giving way to new life and green blossoms underneath. Hopefully, these green plants will flourish and take over, just like the previous branches have branched out. Although these are burned trees and scarred plants, they're still very beautiful. So now, I hope this video was educational and brought you some relief from the worrisome tragedy that happened here. I'm gonna have to wrap it up before my drone battery runs out. The hardest part is landing the drone. I hope you watched it and brought some hope to you and some happiness. Obviously, you cannot have a happy ending from a deadly fire. However, at least there is hope that it will re-flourish with vegetation, and life and wildlife will reoccupy that land. Thank you. And if you want to see more about San Diego's nature and wildlife, please make sure to subscribe in my YouTube channel.